Basically, this one was, there would be no way to, as they say, capture lightning in a bottle again. And to be honest, I don't think that's what they did with this one. I do not think they captured that lightning in a bottle. But I have to say it is a very damn good film. Not as good as Dark Knight, though. This film is set 8 years after The Dark Knight. Basically, 9 years after Batman Begins, 8 years after Dark Knight. Bruce Wayne has been retired for 8 years since Harvey and Rachel's death. He's basically held himself up in Wayne Manor, in the newly rebuilt Wayne Manor, because at the end of Batman Begins, the Wayne Manor was set up in flame. Basically, in the earlier part of Batman Begins, Bruce set Raz's house on fire. So Raz set Bruce's house on fire to, I guess, make it even or something. That's what he said, consider us even. Because he said, and I quote, "You burnt my house and left me for dead, consider us even." So he didn't even take Bruce with him, he just left him there to be burned alive. But Alfred came to save him, which I thought was cool. Now, with this one, Gordon, basically Bruce is in retirement, 8 years in retirement after the death of Rachel and Harvey. Still feels bad for taking the blame for Harvey's crimes. Bruce doesn't even leave his house, really. He is he's basically a recluse. He doesn't get outside. He does not leave his house. He never leaves. He never lets people in. The only people really he lets in is Alfred. Alfred's the only person he really talks to. He doesn't talk to anybody. Like I said, everybody from the first two movies is back, with the exception of Rachel. She got killed off. The cast this time is Christian Bale reprising his role as Bruce Wayne Batman, Michael Caine as Alfred, Gary Oldman as Commissioner Gordon, Anne Hathaway as Selina Kyle. She's not known as Catwoman in this movie, and I do not know why. I just don't. Because maybe she's a cat burglar in this one. She wasn't, I guess, possessed by cats like she was in Batman and Robin. Or Batman Returns, I mean. I don't know why I said that one. Tom Hardy as Bane. Now, as Bane, I thought he did a better job than the fucking zombie from Batman and Robin. He goes, boom, boom, Bane. No, that is not Bane. A mindless monster is not Bane. At least not what I've heard of Bane. So I think Tom Hardy did a better representation of the character. He made Bane basically Bruce's match. Basically, with this film, they wanted to put Bruce up against his match. Someone who could physically stand toe-to-toe with him. And I thought Bane was a good representation of that. Miranda Cotillard as Bruce's love interest. Basically, his love interest is business partner, Miranda Tate, who doesn't have that big of a role until the end, which I'll save that part for later. Joseph Gordon-Levitt as a cop named John Blake. Sorry about that. Who at the end is revealed to be Robin. I'm sorry, I had a cough. But literally, yes, I'm sorry, it was a fake cough. He is revealed to be Robin at the end, but it's just his name. It's not saying he's literally going to be Robin. Because honestly, I'm actually going to say the ending part. Plus, for those who've seen the movie, you already know it. And then Morgan Freeman comes back as Lucius Fox. Like I said, Bruce is in retirement after the death of Harvey. Gordon has been left to run the police on his own. And Bane basically comes to Gotham to finish Ra's al Ghul's work, which is basically to destroy Gotham. Basically, Bane is the new leader of the League of Shadows from Batman Begins. They have come to finish Raz's work and basically destroy Gotham. Because if you see in the trailer, Bane says to Bruce, when Gotham is ashes, you have my permission to die. Basically saying he's going to turn Gotham into a crater, basically. Um, but once Bruce starts hearing about Alfred, or not, why do I keep saying Alfred? When Bruce starts hearing more and more about Bane, he starts to decide to come out of retirement to fight him. And one of the opening scenes of Batman was taken right out of Batman: The Dark Knight Returns. Right out of it, basically. They just did a little bit of changes. Because basically this film is based on The Dark Knight Returns, Nightfall, and No Man's Land, I think. Yeah. Those are the 3 comic books that influenced this film. But in this film, I thought it was a good conclusion. I did. I thought it was a good conclusion. Fantastic. A fantastic conclusion. I'll see. Selina Kyle is the cat burglar who... She was that way in Batman Year 1. Even though she wasn't in Batman Begins. Don't know why they didn't... I guess they didn't find a place for her. So she kind of does both. She works with both sides. She works to help Bruce and help Bane. She only helps Bane because she's afraid of him. She even said in the trailer and something in the movie too. John Blake says, "Why are you running? Are you running from Bane?" And he goes, "What do you know about him?" And Selina says that you should be afraid of him as I am. So you already know Bane is a frightening guy, especially in the first fight in the sewer under the R&D place of Wayne Enterprises. That Bane is a frightening guy. Because once Bane comes on the scene, I'm going to take the words out of another movie reviewer that I see, Filmmaster Adam. He said that once Bane is on the scene, you know that shit is either gone down or is about to go down. And once Bane showed up in the sewer, you knew there was going to be a fight coming. And I saw this movie in theaters, and I loved that fight. But the thing about this movie is it has a runtime of 2 hours and 45 minutes. I was pretty much like this the whole movie. I was pretty much staring at my watch because I really had to go to the bathroom. And I didn't want to miss anything in this movie. Fair warning, if you go see a movie, and it's almost a 3-hour movie, and it's a movie that's almost 3 hours long, don't drink your soda off spot. Especially if you're a guy, because you have to go to the bathroom a whole lot. And I tried holding it in for 2.5 hours just to watch this film. Because I didn't want to miss a damn thing. I did that when I went to see Skyfall. I missed like the last 5 minutes of the movie, I think. And I didn't want to, so I'm trying to find it on DVD somewhere. But anyway, at the end of this movie, basically what happens is, during the fight, Bruce gets his back broken, and he has to spend 5 months in a pit trying to heal, recover, and all that stuff. And then they used something in this movie that was supposed to be in the original 5th movie, Batman Triumphant, where I read that Jack Nicholson was going to reprise his role as the Joker, but in a hallucination. And they did something like that here, with Bruce being in the cave, and I guess having an hallucination or something, and Ra's al Ghul appears. So we get to see Liam Neeson for at least a good 2 minutes of the film, which I thought was good to tie that in. Plus you have the flashbacks, the callbacks to, and the cameos from other entries to definitely tie the trilogy together, which I thought was cool. But something at the end of this movie is what pissed the fuck out of me. I could take it in Batman Begins, because the Scarecrow was very underutilized. But this movie, when I saw the thing at the end, I wanted to just throw something at the screen. I was that pissed when Miranda Tate reveals herself to be Talia al Ghul. I was sitting there in the theater like, what the fuck? Seriously, that's how I was. I was like, what the fuck? But she has a very weak death. She dies fucking too easily. She dies in a way that somebody's called being Boba Fetted. Dying too easily. But yeah. And then the whole town realizes that Harvey Dent was a fake. Harvey was not the hero that thought he was. That Harvey was the one that actually killed the people. Bane reveals it, like right here. See this picture, right there, right there. Bane reveals it by a picture and reading off Gordon's will in front of the people, basically. And Gordon spends a good majority of this film in the hospital. I don't know if it's because they couldn't find something for Gary Oldman to do, so they just wrote him in the hospital for half the film, or what. I don't know. I think it was because they probably couldn't find anything for Gary to do in the movie, just for him to still be in it, so they just wrote him in the hospital. We get to see him in the hospital, though. I thought that was cool, that we still saw him here and there, but, like I said, they probably couldn't find anything for Gary to do, so they just put him in the hospital. So they just put Gordon in the hospital. I like how at the end of them, and then in this movie, Bruce has a new flying vehicle called, like, the Bat, and in Dark Knight, he had the Bat Pod, which was like a motorcycle. So he goes from having a tank to a motorcycle to a plane. Okay. And speaking of a plane, the movie opener. The opening scene of this movie is like a plane heist thing. I really don't know how to explain it. It's like a plane heist. Where Bane and his crew hijack a plane, and they get this doctor they need to make a bomb. Because the fusion reactor in Wayne Enterprises can be used to make a thermonuclear bomb. And Bane needs the doctor named Dr. Pavel to do that. Dr. Pavel is the only guy who can do it, and he's the only guy that can disarm it. So Bane basically breaks his neck and kills him, just so the bomb can't be turned off. But like I said, I thought this was a very nice movie, very well done. Some people say it might have started being good at the beginning, and then they just threw too much at us, and then that's what was his downfall. Was it basically tried to throw too much at us, which I can kind of see. Yeah, I can kind of see that, but I still thought it was a good movie. And there was something that was used at the end of this for a reference from Dark Knight Returns, which was Bruce basically fakes his death. Supposedly, Bruce dies in those explosion, taking the bomb out to the water so it doesn't hurt him. He basically supposedly dies, and the town basically have a hero's funeral for him. They do not find these Batman, like in Dark Knight Returns. The only one of the town to really know are Gordon and Blake, and then also Lucius. I like how the people who knew who Bruce was, that Bruce was Batman, attended his funeral, or his fake funeral, which was cool. So, and actually, Alfred is not in this movie that much. He's only like in the first hour of it, and then basically is written out the rest. And then we see him at the end of it. And then he's back in the end of it for the funeral and pretty much the end of the movie. It doesn't really touch. I think the reason why they wrote Alfred out of it is, like I said, with Gordon, they couldn't think of anything for Michael Caine to do. So they basically just wrote him out of it. He basically up and quits being Bruce's butler when Bruce decides to put on the cape and cowl and become Batman again. Because he doesn't want to have to bury Bruce. He said in the trailer, "You are as precious to me as you were to your mother and father. I swore to them that I would protect you, and I haven't. I've buried enough members of the Wayne family. I won't bury you. I've buried enough members of the Wayne family." So he didn't want Bruce to die, basically. He didn't want to have to bury him, like he had to with Bruce's parents. But Alfred shows up at the funeral along with Gordon, Lucius, and Blake. Just like the only 4 people who knew who he was showed up. Selina Kyle did not show up, even though she knew who he was. There's a reason for that. Because if you watch the end of the film, Selina Kyle and Bruce are in Italy. And Bruce is basically respecting Rachel's wishes to move on with his life. And he's doing that with Selena Kyle, which I thought was a nice thing. Because they made this ending the opposite of Batman Returns. I know I hate to compare franchises, but this one is basically the same franchise, a different branch. It's the same tree, but a different branch of it. But yeah. This was a supposed epic conclusion. I thought it was a very nice one. And I had to touch on Robin John Blake for a minute. At the reading of the will, of Bruce's will, Blake basically learns that Bruce left him something, and he basically left him the Batcave. He left him the coordinates, left him climbing gear, rock climbing gear, I guess you'd say, like something to help him like jump it, or swing into the Batcave or something. Because Blake does not use the main entrance; he uses basically the waterfall entrance, which I thought was nice. And then when Blake's walking through the Batcave, he walks up on the podium thing, and then it just kind of rises up. It rises up, and then cut to black, and then end of credits. I saw that ending, I was like, what the fuck? You say this is the conclusion, yet you fucking set up another storyline. But you kind of gotta figure it's actually only, you gotta figure this trilogy is Bruce's story. That's it. That's why the ending was that. That's why the ending with John Blake taking over the cave ended up being that ending. Was because this trilogy is Bruce's story, no one else's. Because they say on Dark Knight Rises, the featurette called The Journey of Bruce Wayne, and that's basically what this trilogy was. It was Bruce's story, Bruce's journey, how he became Batman, and then how he rid the city of crime. And the ending of it, the supposed ambiguous ending, was that you didn't know what happened next. You didn't know if Blake was going to be Batman, Nightwing, Robin. You don't know. And they kind of left that ending ambiguous for the fans to decide that for themselves. There has been talks of a movie with Joseph Gordon-Levitt playing either Batman or Nightwing or Robin, but I haven't heard that much on it. All I heard were possibilities and rumors. But now what I've heard is they're going to reboot Batman they're going to reboot it to tie it into Justice League. But I think they're only going to make Justice League if Man of Steel does well. So if Man of Steel does well, then they will proceed with Justice League. But there are rumors, though, of Christian Bale supposedly taking on the role of Batman again. Christian Bale said after Dark Knight Rises, he would only do another Batman movie if Chris Nolan was attached. He would only do another movie if Nolan was attached. Which, so far, Nolan, I think, is the producer of Justice League. He's the producer of Man of Steel. So I do not know yet. But, like I said, I don't know. I hope to find out more on the information. I'm going to give this trilogy a perfect 10. Because I love these. Out of every comic book movie I've seen, these three are the best. This is the best trilogy I've seen in the comic book movie genre. So I give it a perfect 10 out of 10. And you guys may disagree with me, saying nothing's perfect or whatever, but you know what? Screw you guys. I love these movies. They're the best comic movies I've seen ever. So you know what? Shut it. So if you guys have another movie in mind that you want me to review, please leave it in the comment section below, and I will see if I can track that movie down and review it for you guys. Thank you very much.